All right, next up with Notre Dame and Duke. This is the big Saturday night game on ABC. Game day, college game day going to Duke, the campus of Duke, and it's for football, not basketball. Wow, that tells you something right there. Duke football is going places right now. Notre Dame 6-point road favorites, 50 the total. Money's coming in on Notre Dame, 4.5 up to 5.5 up to 6. So obviously the betting markets think Notre Dame can pick themselves up off the mat following just a gut-wrenching loss to Ohio State. I mean, that was a coin flip game. It was very even. It could have gone either way. It's not like, wow, they dominated the game and lost. That's not the case. It was a coin flip. It was back and forth. It was a very, very competitive game. It's just the way they lost it was tough. Final play of the game, 1 second to go. They run it in for the game-winning touchdown. And Notre Dame with a tough loss there to Ohio State. Can they bounce back here against Duke? It ends up being the question. Duke, meanwhile, we've seen them, already this year, in a primetime spot against Clemson, very first week of the season. They found a way to get the job done. Now, again, lots of turnovers, mistakes, red zone problems, implosions by Clemson in that game, but still give Duke credit. I'm not rushing to lay this kind of points with Notre Dame here in this spot. I'm not there with Duke yet, but man, if a 7 pops up, and this is already up to 6, and certainly if it hits 7, I'm on Duke. Until then, I'm kind of leaning Duke, but not as into it as far as taking Duke here plus the points. One thing I want to point out though about Duke, they played Northwestern, UConn, and Lafayette the last 3 weeks. The only kind of good offense they've played, and I'd say it's a good offense, but not a great offense, is that Clemson game to start the year. I think Notre Dame is probably the best offense Duke's played. So I kind of lean to this over here, and I think Duke can move the football here a little bit against. Now, Notre Dame's defense was very good against Ohio State, but when I think of losing a game like that, and I think maybe a little bit of a hangover, it could show up on the defensive side of the football. And Riley Leonard's no joke. This kid can play. He is a really, really good quarterback. He's having a very solid season so far for the Duke Blue Devils. I'm bringing up the numbers, 67% completions. And what I like about his play is no interceptions through 4 games. He has taken care of the football. That's what you want to see. Lean Duke, lean over. Conor, what do you think here? Big Saturday night match.
Yeah, this is a huge matchup. And it's, the Clemson win, and like Duke just keeps taking care of business. Where it's like, they're laying 3 touchdowns, and UConn is even down a little bit, it seems like, from last year. They can't move the ball. But just went in there, took care of business right away. Maybe those were, tighter games. This would be over the touchdown already instead of at 5.5. Yeah, if you watch this show, I'm a big Riley Leonard fan. Notre Dame defense was very good, and what a tough loss there at the end of that football game. I thought, just a good football game, period. Clean, no turnovers. The yardage was about the same. One thing is, can Duke, you mentioned this, Notre Dame defense, can they run it? Because they've been able to run it on all these teams. They even ran it on Clemson. They're averaging 240 yards rushing. If they can do that, they're in it. One thing, Notre Dame, though, at least ATS has been very good against the ACC. I think they're 8-0 or 9-0, depending on, each number. But they've kind of to own it, own the number. 5.5, though, it's a touchdown win. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to sit on this one a little bit more as the week goes.
Yeah, it's a really, really intriguing game. Very interested to see how it plays out. Great matchup of quarterbacks, too, obviously. When you think Sam Hartman on one side, Riley Leonard on the other side, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Keep in mind, there's some questions. There's, Jaden Thomas questionable, Deion Colsey out. There's some cluster injuries developing for Notre Dame at receiver going into this game. So keep that in mind.
And that's been a problem to start the year. Yep. And last week
they're not deep at receiver. You're right. Yep.
They're not. They're going to be pumped though, Duke here at home. Huge game. I'm leaning to the points, here just early.
And man, I can't. I'm thinking off the top of my head, but what the record's been, but I know for a fact Duke is an underdog. It's been unbelievable against the spread, how good they've been as an underdog. I think I'm just looking at the last 5 tries as a dog, including the Clemson game earlier this year, 5-0 ATS. Last 5 tries, they've been an underdog. And if you go back probably to the start of last year, it's an even better record than that. So it's tough to lay points against this Duke team. It has been proven here the last year and a bit. And what a job Mike Elko continues to do with this program from a coaching standpoint.